Hey guys, this is Panzer Dragon, and today we'll be doing the patch 5.1 rundown of the changes, trying to give you my insight on things, what I think about things, and how it might affect future tier lists. So that's basically it. We'll also just be trying to be skimming through small things, as I do want to make this a relatively short video. So yeah, I know this is a big patch, but I don't want to make it like a 40-minute video. So yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and let's get started. So first thing, I'm actually this change is kind of cool. So basically, if you ever change stunned, like say Malphite ulted, and then right after Alistair Q'd, there'd be a split second in between crowd control where you could flash away. And with this change, which is coming out later in the patch, it won't happen anymore. So I'm kind of glad for that. Um, and yeah, so next thing, Alistair gets an update. She gets a new splash, yada yada. They fixed a bug on Sand Soldier where sometimes he wouldn't auto attack, appear to attack, but it actually never did damage. I felt that before, so that's kind of cool. And right here, this kind of might seem important, so let's put it in my words. Basically, what I'm thinking is you have to think about when to use your Valkyrie, say in lane. So you kind of have to be more conservative, since using a lot of your W will, well, it'll cost you a lot of mana, and you won't have mana for your Q or R. So just think before you use it. Basically, that's it. For late game, I don't think it affects that much, since a lot of champions, when they hit level 18, they usually don't get mana problems at that point, so it's fine. It just kind of hurts his early game and mid game. And that's about it. He's still going to be a really good AD carry. He's probably going to still be number one, two, or three. I know Sivir is around there now, since people are starting to use her. But yeah, he's still going to be good. He still has a Trinity Force proc with the true damage and Sheen and all of that. So he's still going to be good. Nothing big here. And Elise, so basically her combo, which is Q and then Q into a spider form. Now instead of doing 300 damage, it'll do 350. It's not that big, so she gets faster clears, but it's not gonna make her like it's not gonna make her viable. Well, she's like decent in some situations. She is still viable, but her late game still kind of sucks. Her late game is better, yeah. Her late game is better, but there's just better junglers to pick over her. She's not gonna be top 5. Definitely not top 5. I don't even know if she might be top 10. I actually don't think so. I'm not sure about the top 10. I have to go over it, but yeah, nothing great here. Right here, so basically this change right here is saying the only time you'll get 1% maximum mana per second is if you're at 50% of your mana pool, since this is missing mana. So I don't know. It's not really a buff or nerf, I guess. It's like kind of situationally good and bad. If you're in, it'd be good. It's better if you're in the right situation where you have lower mana, but if you have higher mana, then it's worse. So it's not really a buff or nerf. And right here, strikes now apply on hit effects. That means you can do stuff like Devour, Blade of Ruin King, but um, Evelynn, the reason Evelynn was good before was because her Q's base damage was really high, and so she could build Elder Lizard in season 4, and just be, just that's her main source of damage, and then just be a tank right after with the ultimate and rely on her base damage. I mean, this is only good with Devour and Blader and King, but the thing is, you have a lot of attack speed, so I'm pretty sure 2 extra hits won't be that extreme. Um, it's just nothing. Trust me. It's kind of like, okay, well, you can't use rallies anymore. Like, I don't know. It's not gonna fix her at all. She needs something bigger, more base damage, or some kind of more utility CC or something like that to be viable. I think she's getting rework, so be sure to look out for that. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if she's getting a rework anytime soon. Um, so yeah, I know what this bug is. Basically, if you're too close, you wouldn't activate Sheen and you'd still have it. All right, so Gnar, Gnar, his laning phase gets a nerf. As you can see, the cooldown refund on catch is now 45%, but it goes up as you get ultimate ranks in your ultimate. So it comes out the same at late game, just as early game kind of gets nerfed. It's because in the laning phase, what he would do is basically just constantly throw your Q and harass you from afar. And if you ever engage with him with, say, Riven, you would just E away. And also, he has really good base stats in Mega Gnar, so you can trade with him immediately, even if you wanted to. Um, the thing is, though, this is only for his Q in Mega Gnar form. It doesn't affect that at all. So there's still that. I think, I'm not sure, but I think that's how it's working right now. So yeah, just a minor nerf. He's still gonna be good. He's still gonna have a lot of his CC. They haven't removed that. They didn't make his cooldowns higher, so he's still gonna be really good in team fights and all of that. All right, so next thing, Hecarim. Hecarim actually gets a buff in this patch. Stalker's Blade is changed. You'll see me talk about it later. Basically, he steals movement speed, so he actually is probably gonna be maybe top, definitely top 10 for sure. Especially with this change too. Well, in general with Stalker's Blade, it's just gonna. I think he's gonna be a really powerful jungler. So right here, mana cost less. Comes out the same at rank 5. It just helps his early game a bit. This one definitely right here helps his early game too, because the the only time you'll be getting a rank 2, what is it? Spirit of the Dread is at level 7 because you're maxing out Q and E. So you're gonna have this for a majority of the early game. So 30 health is really it helps. It helps a lot. I honestly thought Hecarim's like in a decent spot right now, but with these buffs, I think he's gonna be in a pretty more decent spot. So that's I think you're gonna see a lot more of him. But yeah, I think he's good. I've always thought he was good. I just don't use him that much. Now Jenna gets a nerf on her missile. It's 30 range, whatever. She's still gonna be good. She still has her E to shield people in lane, harass herself, use her R. The healing is probably what makes team fights so annoying against her, because she heals their enemies, resets the fights, and it's not the Q. It's like just everything else. Definitely though, this is gonna lower her win rate just a bit, just a tiny bit, but that's about it. Now Jace gets a late game nerf. So basically in early and mid game, his power spikes come from his EQ combo where he shoots that power blast. He doesn't rely too much on his W, but basically in the late game, this thing does tons of damage. Mid game you probably have around 200, 250, 230 AD, 240 around there. So it doesn't hit that till then. So let's try and do some math. So let's say you had 300 AD, you would go 300 times 3. Wait, hold on. 300 times 1.3, and then times 3. That's how much damage you do with 300 AD. But now you would do 300 times 1.1 times 3, and that's like I don't remember the last number. I think it's like 200 damage less. So I think the last number was 1,170. So that's 200 damage less. It hits his late game, but I mean, I actually didn't think he was that strong. I don't know if he needed a nerf, but I guess if they want to just nerf his late game, that's fine. He's still pretty strong late game or early in mid game. I don't think he's gonna be picked as much though, of course. All right, so Kalista, right here, I think right here this is gonna make her a stronger laner. And right now she's actually a pretty strong champion because of Runons and how well it goes with her E. You get more stacks on her. So this buff just says, well, she's gonna be picked more, definitely, because she's actually being picked a lot in solo queue right now. Just because of that new build with the Runons and Bloodthirster. So right here, this makes her laning phase stronger, and also I'm not sure if the bottom lane doing golems or Gromp is going to I don't know. I don't remember how long it takes. I'm pretty sure it may take like 10 seconds, so you might be getting 2 seconds of rotations off this W. I think it does like 13% of their maximum health damage, but yeah, that's going to be pretty good if you do those too. Also, again, in laning phase, she's going to have a bit stronger too, especially if she's a range support like Sona or someone else. Okay, so next up is Nautilus. So right here, you might be looking at these numbers, and let's do some calculations. This is actually a pretty big nerf. So right here, so at level 1, he has 7% of his maximum health. So what we do is do 7 Oh, wait, no. 0.07 times, what is his health? 760? 760? Wait, whatever. 570, 576, and what is it? Plus, where is it? Plus 65. And then that's more health at level 1 than what this would give. We're not counting runes or masters, of course. So, and then at level 5, or rank 5 rank, whatever. You know, I guess what I mean. 5 points into W, you would have a, let's see, 17% increase on maximum health. 17 times, you'd probably be level 9 at this point, so, not including items, of course. You do this, and then you plus, how much is it? 85. Right, I think I got this right. So yeah, right here, you know, you're 20 less health at this point at level 5, so, you know, it is less, but the thing is, you probably have, some health items. Of course, this 17% is definitely more bigger than 15% bonus health. So scaling wise, you do incredibly well with that. And at level 18, you have 2038 health. So you do 2038 times. I feel like I did that calculation wrong, the last one, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. So yeah, that times. Did I do this one? No, I didn't. I'm pretty sure I didn't. 85. So 431 health you get at level 18, which is, you know, 130 more. Not including the other items you have. This is way better, of course, than 15% bonus health. So, I mean, he's going to be really tanky late game, and especially with cooldown reduction. I think, yeah, I just think, I think he's going to be a good champion. It's hard to say if he's going to be top 5. I don't think he's going to be top 5 since his early game is still a bit weak, but having that late game presence, of course, is going to be really threatening, and I think he should be someone to look out for. So Rek'Sai, Rek'Sai actually gets a pretty big nerf, because as you can see right here, they nerfed the damage of 95 to 75. So before it did 285 damage, base damage, but now it just does 75. That's 60 less base damage on. Yeah, that's 60 less base damage on one of her bread and butter skills, and that's a 4-second cooldown, reduced by cooldown reduction, of course. So this is her main damaging skill. It got nerfed, and I don't know if she's gonna be as good as before. I don't know if she's gonna be top 5. Definitely, she was like number 1 in the last patch. This might put her around top 10, maybe. I am not 100% sure. So, yeah. Definitely though, Trinity Force I think is still gonna be one of her core if she gets ahead. If not, she'll just probably be some tanky bruiser, just going Stalker's Blade into Warrior, and then rely on her base damages off that. Her W has actually pretty big damage. Her utility is still there from her W, knocking up people. So she's either gonna, and she's also pretty danky with her passive as she gets rage. So that's still there. I think she's probably still gonna be top 10 regardless of the nerfs to this. But yeah, I think she's also good late game too because of the W and, you know, the regen and how tanky she is. So yeah, there's still that, and top 10 for sure, I think. Right here, I'm actually pretty sad about this one. I always used to play her AP in Portal King. I'm not sure why they did this, to be honest. I guess they just want to reduce like annoyance in the game, and I guess having a 1.0 AP ratio was really annoying. I'm actually pretty sad about that, because that was my favorite thing, was playing her AP in ARM. So next thing we're going to be going over is Renekton. And right here, well, I think it's like after 5 seconds of combat or 10 seconds of combat, you start reducing, your fury starts decaying to 2 fury per second, but now 4. So if it's like 5 or 10, if it's like 10, then it doesn't matter. If it's like 5, well, I don't know, it still doesn't matter. I'm looking at this and I'm just saying it's really nothing. I forgot how his ultimate works though. I know you gain Fury. Oh wait, I don't know if you lose Fury if you're in your ultimate. I'm pretty sure you don't. Don't take my word on it. I don't play that much Renekton. So anyways, right here, let's be talking about the changes right here. So basically, what I'm looking at is in lane. I think they're tweaking the damage, for sure. That it scales pretty good in lane. Like it might feel the same. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure they got the numbers right. So I'm gonna say it kind of feels the same in lane. What does though in mid game and late game is when people start stacking armor, you can actually heal off their using your Q since you have the base healing off that and also an AD ratio. So you won't be healing like 50 health every time you press your Q. You'll be healing like the base amount, like 100 if you hit 4 champs or whatever. So overall, it's a late game buff and mid game buff too. And also, if you want to build AD too, you have the AD ratio there too. Um, as for say, for regeneration, um, so as you can see, you don't generate Fury as much as Fury when you hit a minion. You actually gain half, but when you hit a champion, you get 5 more Fury. Well, you're probably going to hit a lot more minions in lane than hitting the champion. So, say you hit 4 minions. So, previously, let's say you hit 4 minions, you would get 20 Fury. Hold on. Yeah, 20 Fury, and then you hit a champion. That's 25. Now, if you hit 4 minions and a champion, you would get 20 instead of 25. I think that's how it worked. Don't take my word for it, but yeah. So that's not much Fury, but of course, having Renekton's weakness was his late game and mid game, or no, not mid game, his late game. So I'm kind of happy for that. Overall, I do feel like this is a buff. Everything in this thing is a buff. So basically, I think you're actually gonna see a lot more of them. For sure with this change right here, and of course having more Fury, versus bonus versus champions, and okay, so right here I have to mention this one too. So yeah, Dice is a skill that comes after your E, not the first E, but the second E. So denote that. So that's the only time you can get Fury off that. So having more Fury, and doing more spells, I think that's kind of cool. So I definitely think you're going to see a lot more of him now, again, like you did in Season 4. So this is, just Super Galaxy Rumble. This one, it's like, this one's actually pretty interesting because a lot of people will get Morello's Nomicon. I'm not sure if I ever noticed this when I played Sion and I died and the Grievous Wounds applied when I revived and I had reduced health, but I'm kind of glad they fixed this. So yeah, we'll talk about the Morello's Nomicon later. Skarner, right here, no, it's not enough to put him back in the game. Right here, the only time you'll have a 10-second cooldown on your E is when you're level 18. But until you're level 13, I think it is, or 14, whenever, you're just gonna have the cooldown of 12. His late game gets a buff, but honestly, I don't think he's just gonna come back. The reason he was really good before was because he had lots of base damage with his Q, and then they nerfed that. So let's see what that is. So let's say a 40% cooldown reduction. Nope. And then you're gonna have 6-second cooldown on your E, as previously you had 7.2 seconds. So it's not gonna be that, that game breaking, but it's cool. They're buffing his late game. Sona gets a nerf, interesting enough. Apparently she's actually really good in gold to diamond elo, and in like challenger and master she's not as great. So that's what they're trying to nerf. So that's what happened. Movement speed gets buffed. Every time a champion gets a movement speed nerf, their win rate goes down decently high, like maybe 1 or 2%. So it's really bad, or it's really bad when you see this. And then right here, less damage under Q, so that's cool. So viability, of course, she's still going to be viable. Next one, we're just going to be doing Syndra, and this might hurt a lot to the tier list. In my opinion, she used to be in competitive, she'd be like number 1 or 2 or 3 around there. But with this and solo queue, she'd be like top 5 for sure. But with this, early game gets hit, and the biggest thing I'm looking out for is this one. Dark Spheres knocked back by Scatter the Weak are now more strict in their hitbox radius. If this is like lowering her hitbox radius by a lot, and like you can actually notice that maybe the patch before this patch that she was hitting more, and now you see she's not hitting as much as stuns as she would used to. That's inconsistency, less inconsistent, and it might be impactful. So if this is a really big change on her hitbox, like if you notice it, then she won't be played as much. Other than that, once she gets level 9, this is going to be fine. Just in the early levels, it's a bit weaker. And yeah, I'm not sure if this is kept, or if this wasn't here, maybe top 7, 6, 5. But if this is right here, I don't think she might be top 5. Xerath, Tiltep, and Zed, nothing. So next thing we have to go over is which one was it? Base gates. So what I'm thinking, so now base gates exist. You can retreat into your base if you're being chased in your territory. So the way I'm thinking of this is that basically, I think this is really up when you're getting siege on by the enemy. You could have like 2 tanks go in between the base tanks and then like kind of pincer the enemy. Like say if you have Malphite on the right and then you have Fizz on the left and they're coming at the team that's sieging, what will happen is like they have to either focus the Fizz or the Malphite, whichever, and they're gonna have to, their AoE is going to be separate, and then the enemy, people who are being sieged on will have advantage when initiating on the enemy. And so that's going to be really good. Also, when you're rotating from, say, mid to bottom, and you want to get, say, that tower at the bottom, you can't really go through that narrow passage anymore because the enemy could collapse onto you with that base gate, of course. So they have to go actually into where the wraiths are and avoid from that happening. So it's just more time in rotating. It's definitely going to be harder for people to siege onto people with a base, and I actually think this is going to be a really interesting change on what's going to happen, what people are going to do, and what kind of plays are going to be made. So that's kind of cool. So Smite, let me just, okay, so anyways, Smite recharges at every 75 seconds. Now, first of all, this looks like a nerf because instead of having 60 seconds, it's now 75 seconds, but you can hold 2 charges. This is a nerf to farm junglers because what they would do is, farm the jungler, go their route, and every time Smite's up, it's like like pure farm junglers, not just like farm junglers gank once. That's fine, but pure farm junglers, they probably want their Smite there. It's just a small nerf too, but you know what I mean. So they would like go to another camp, and once their Smite is up, it would come up, blah blah blah. So now let's explain how this is going to change. You now hold 2 charges at once, and the thing is, good junglers would hold on to their Smite, and when they have the Stalker's Blade enchantment, they'd hold it on until they have to gank something, or they have to smite something important like say Dragon or Objective Control, or smite like say a camp they need. Like the thing is, you'd never smite blue, and you might want to smite the Gromp or something else. So like it's just better to have 2 charges now. Now you can like use one to smite the camps and do it faster, and then save the other one for ganking someone. So it is a buff, and yeah. Now if you have 2 charges in your inventory, you can finally smite the wolves and then go gank a lane with the Stalker's Blade since you have 2 of them. So that's pretty good. So I'm happy for this change. It's gonna be really interesting how pros are gonna use it, how I'm gonna use it actually. But yeah, I already gave you my theory craft. I'm gonna smite a camp, and then right after I'm going to try and gank a lane. For sure. 75 seconds could be long though, but I think it's fine. I usually have my smite held on when I'm jungling. You'll see my other videos where I play games. I have it. I literally like hold on to it until there's a camp I need it for, or I'm ganking a lane. So that's pretty good. Okay, so right here. Oh, this is 25 minutes. Okay, so jungle monsters will hard reset after 5 soft leashes. You guys, if you ever see me play range junglers, you'd always see me kite the enemies back to where like a spot where they keep going back and forth, and do no damage to my Lucian jungle or whatever. And I'd eventually go back to the enemies and try and tank them. Now this is going to be harder for range uh, junglers because it's gonna reset, hard reset after they turn 5 times. So I'm kind of upset because I like playing my range junglers. They're really fun. So range junglers get a nerf, but for the meta is basically Jarvan, Lee Sin, all these melee junglers. You never want to play a range jungler, so it's kind of you know uh, it's kind of sucks for the range junglers. But this is primarily for I think the bottom lane who would leash the golems and basically soft reset it a lot. Um, for the Gromp though, its range it was kind of hard to like turn it around, but basically I think pros were actually turning around the Gromp too. They just went back and forth inches to not take a lot of damage. So that's about it. Uh, and Dragon knocks away wards. That's kind of cool. I never knew people actually put down wards under it. So I guess you can't do it anymore. Right here, basically, what they're saying here is there's so much numbers. I can't even go over it. But basically, you look at this one, and look at this one, and I don't know. I don't know what's going on over here, but basically, it's easier to do Baron earlier and early game and mid game. So you expect to see something like Tryndamere and the tanky jungler doing it at 20 minutes again and stuff like that. But I think after 40 minutes, it's the same. I think it's the same at 40 minutes. Is it? No, no, no. It's a bit stronger, but that's about it. The late game of Baron, I I think it gets a small buff, but that's about it. So just expect more objective around Baron like sneaks around the 30 to 25 minutes. And you get more instead of like having the cleared monster camp at 2 levels, now it's 3 levels, which is good. I've never liked this change in the first place because I feel like if you're behind I feel like if you're behind, wait, or if you're really ahead, then the jungles won't give it to you the experience that you need. So it kind of sucks. But finally, they're putting it up there, so I like it. All right, so I have to go over this. There was a big change here. I forgot. The biggest change that hit me was this one. So um, right here, you can switch out your enchanted item for another enchanted item for free. Unenchanted items. So that means if you have a Stalker's Blade, which isn't has Magus or Warrior enchantment yet, you can actually trade it for a Trailblazer every time you recall if you want to. So what I'm expecting is for the people who have hard times in the early game, they would go Trailblazer, and then eventually, once mid game and early or when they're like level 9. Early to mid game comes, they switch out for Stalker's Blade, as they don't really need the help from Trailblazer to do their camps anymore. So once they hit level 9, basically, before they're gonna get their enchantment, they'll switch to Stalker's Blade, and I think that's what's gonna happen. Because Skirmisher's Blade and the other one, I don't know what it's called, Poachers, I think, is really bad right now. So it's either Trailblazer or Stalker's Blade. So Trailblazer first, and then Stalker's Blade. If you already have Sustain, you can just go straight up Stalker's Blade, and that's about it. Now ZZ Rot Porto. This is really interesting. So apparently they're making tanks wanting to siege towers now. This adds an interesting mechanic to League. I'm not sure how it's gonna like affect people, but definitely, like I say, when you're ahead, it's easier to siege onto enemies. So yeah, I guess that's it. It doesn't. The thing is, though, what I'm looking at is it only gives 50 armor and 50 magic resist, basically Negatron and Chain Vest, and then you get health regeneration. So what I'm looking at, I don't value this stat at all that much. I value these two stats. So that's 1,500 gold worth of stats. I don't know if tanks would get this, to be honest. and you're getting it active, which is probably what you're paying that 1300 more gold for. So yeah, um, I don't think it'll be a viable item, but maybe it might be. This active will be super strong when you're ahead or have Baron buff. So if this active is super strong, then this item is good. Otherwise, the base stats that it gives, it's not that great. And finally, jungle items are getting more gold, so yay. Jungle, I know for sure as a jungler, when you are like when you want to carry a game, you just can't anymore because you don't get a lot of gold. They respawn less. Their spawn timers are less or higher. Sorry, their spawn timers are higher, and the only way to get super fed as a jungler is if you tax a lot, tax lanes, and you get money. So that's the only way you can carry basically. And if you want to be super fed. So right here, this is interesting. Instead of 50% movement slow, which is really good for basically any jungler who wants to gank a lane, and basically if you smited that lane, they'd be instantly dead because this lasted for 2 seconds. It's now a 20% movement speed steal. So this is really good on Hecarim, like super good. You gain like, I don't know. I don't really know the math behind this, but I think you gain like 20 health, or sorry, 20 attack damage or whatever, and then as you gain levels, maybe even like 30 AD. It's just gonna be really good on Hecarim since his basically his EQ and auto attacks scale with movement speed too, so that's pretty good. It's still gonna probably be a good item since you're stealing movement speed, basically a mini Bladed Rune King or Malphite Q. So I'm sorry, I actually didn't look at the junglers who would benefit the most, but basically, it's going to be real. I still think it's going to be good if you definitely don't have a sustainer ready, and yeah, Fiddlesticks definitely that's pretty good. You get to close in more with your Q and E. Thing is, they will get their tower faster, of course, with the not having 50% movement speed and just having 20% slow onto them. So that's about it. Although, I think, yeah. I think I got that right. And then Guardian Angel gets a slight buff. It's not that big, whatever. And right here, Critical Trance goes from 25% to 20%. And then you have the Phantom Dancer, which actually gets a buff. So basically, I actually think this is what's going to happen. So Static Shiv is going to be your pushing tool. So when AD carries need to push in lane, they would go Static Shiv. If they want pure damage in team fights, now they have to go this because they're losing. Because if they go IE and Static Shiv, they only have 40% crit. But now if you go IE PD, you have 55% crit. So that's your big difference. And yeah, if you want to do better in team fights, I think Phantom Dancer is the thing. If you want to push lanes faster, then Static Shiv is the way to go. Of course, if you have a lot of mobility, like maybe Lucian, Kalista, a lot of people who move, then maybe Static Shiv is still the better item for you. But Kog'Maw, I think Phantom Dancer is the better for him. Jinx, Phantom Dancer. Graves, Phantom Dancer. Caitlyn, Phantom Dancer. And if Vayne wants to split push, then she'd go Shiv, otherwise Phantom Dancer. So I think you guys got the point. And the last item we'll be going over is the Morello Nomicon. So right here, it turns to 2,300 gold. So let's actually compare something and check out the base stats total gold value that this gives. It's 3,093 for 2,300 gold now. And then with Athene's, what you're getting is 2,800 gold, not counting the regen from the missing regen from the passive. And so this costs 2,700 gold. So, people were running double Morellocon, and what that, sorry, I'm still sick, but what that means is I still think people will go double Morellocon. The only time you'd ever get Athene's if, say, you're a poker or someone like, who has high mana. Actually, no. Take that back. The only time you get Athene's if you're against a lot of AP, so maybe Rumble Rumble top and Lissandra mid or something like that, then I would consider getting Athene since it does give 25 magic resist. Other than that, I still think Morello Nomicon is going to be the better item. So trinkets get a buff, ooh, except for Oracles, that gets a nerf. Well, I'd honestly never. Everyone just takes out totems and goes for a sweeper. Unless you're an AD carry, then you go Farside Orb. So yeah, everyone. I don't know about this. I don't think it means much, and that's it. Thank God. And this wasn't a short video. It was actually 35 minutes, so I do apologize. Um, I guess I'll do a TLDR. So basically, what my notes say is this. At least this is a rough draft. So basically, what happens? At least faster clears. Ooh, oh wait, this is sarcastic. Evelynn, Devourer. Oh wow, this is really sarcastic. So, at least nothing. Evelynn, nothing happens. Gnar has an early game that's less annoying. Hecarim, nice level 7. This is nice. Level 7 where it matters because that's when he gets a point in W. Actually, wait, doesn't make sense. Soccer's Blade is cool. So, Soccer's Blade is cool. Janna feels the same. Jace late game nerf hard and some math. And Kalista, Kalista gets a laning buff. This was actually completely wrong. Phase buff. And not a lot of super buff. Do math. It's not a super buff. Trust me about that. It's just a super op late game buff. And this was this, and yeah, the Renekton. He's either gonna be good or super good. Not super good, probably not. Not super good. Skarner. This only affects him when he's after level 13, and Syndra. Yeah, Syndra. Oh boy, going down in tiers, especially if E's hitbox is noticed less consistent. It could be less consistent if your QE combo doesn't stun as much as it did before. Yeah, base gates, they're going to be really good. This is completely wrong. I just thought of it while doing the video. And yeah, base gates, basically you can, prevent sieges from happening and make plays onto the enemy team when you're behind. So yeah, that's about it. Jungle AI, range jungle is nerfed. Can't leash bot lane, the bot lane can't leash the golems as well as they could. Smite overall gets a buff since good junglers hold on to it for Soccer's Blade gank, and it's worse for farm junglers. Sorta. Baron, it's easier to do early to mid game. Hello Tryndamere plus tanky jungler at 20 minutes. Item exchanges, unenchanted jungle items, Trailblazer at first, then exchange at Soccer's Blade, and the ZZ Raw Portal, I can't say much. This item adds a whole new element to League. Also, shady stats. And jungle items, more gold, yay. Soccer's Blade, Hecarim gets a buff. Mini Blader King for people like E. Only thing viable is Trailblazer and Stalkers. Guardian Angel, cool. IE, oh. And then Phantom Dancer probably going to be standard unless you need help pushing. Morello Nomicon, and I think I missed a bunch of other. Actually, no, I think that's been it. Morello Oxtail, I think. So yeah, that's the end of this. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am Panzer Dragon, and hopefully we'll see you next time. Oh shit.